Hello, everyone. Another video for today on Tuesday, the 16th. So today's video is you have to reverse engineer your goals. And I know it's not the beginning of the year or the middle of the year. Usually I go through this in a business planning session, but I wanted to remind you because we've had so many brand new agents right out of school come over in the last 12 months. Wow, a lot just recently, beginning of the year, and a lot more. So coming in over the next few months. So with new agents, I'm always explaining you got to come up with a dollar amount. So I'm going to be specific. I'm sorry, as specific as I can without showing you a graph. But I will do this more specifically and in front of you on a graph at the beginning of the year, in the middle of the year, kind of going over your business plan. But there is simple math to how much money you can make in real estate. It's how many houses you're going to sell and what prices those houses, what's the commission in there. So when agents ask me, a lot of new agents do, how much money can I make in real estate? I can't tell you. I don't know how much money you can make in real estate. I could have real estate agents that are with us making $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year, and some making zero. You get to decide on how much money. But I could do the math for you. I could tell you on if you sell $100,000 house or a $200,000 house or $1 million worth of property or $2 million property within a range of commission, how much money you could earn. So now you're reverse engineering. Like, well, I got to sell this much in real estate to make about this amount of money within, 10,000 of each other, depending upon, because commission varies a little bit, per house. Example, you sell 10 $100,000 houses compared to selling $1 million house, could be a little bit different in commission. But now the next step that you could, again, reverse engineer. So if the average house for sale I sell is $200,000 and I make X amount of percentage of commission on average, and I want to make X amount of dollars, this is how much money I have to make. Again, you're reverse engineering the amount I want to make. Say, I'll just throw $100,000, and if I'm going to make an average of, we'll just say $5,000 per house, gross, that's 20 houses for $100,000 gross again there. But now you have to take it to the next step, reverse engineering on how many calls that you're going to make, and how many contacts you're going to follow up with, and how many good conversations am I going to have with people. Now that personal numbers that will take time. There's very successful agents that know their numbers after 10, 15, 20 years of being in real estate. They go, I make X amount of calls, and I follow up with this many people every month, and I do this system, and I send them flyers, and I send out emails, and I send out mailers, and I do pop buys, and I do agent events to bring in customer appreciation parties. And they know, when, just like any business, I do all of this, and it's going to get me about this. So as realtors, that's a hard number to find yourself. It takes a long time of being in real estate, but you could beat the general numbers of how many people do I have to connect with. So those, without going into a graph, this example, you have to have at least 100 good conversations with people to get at least 3 to 5 of those people interested that are wanting to move now. So 100, you're going to bring in 3 to 5% right now. If you have 100 good conversations with someone a week, a month, a year. If you only have 100 conversations a year, probably only going to sell about 3 houses a year. So there's numbers behind it. But what the closings are a different story, but you can definitely make a certain number of phone calls and find out what is your, and keep track of it as what's my rate of return? How much time do I got to be, will it take me to make 100 phone calls? How many people will I leave voicemails for? How many people will I get live? How many people will make an appointment? So to give you my numbers for over the years is that example, if you make 100 phone calls, 70 to 80% of those will be voicemails. That's easy. That's great. It gets you to the next call, and it's an advertisement for you to leave a message. Now let's just say it's 80%. So you have 20 more there. So the 20 more you do there, 10 may be interested, 10 might say, I'm not interested, take me off your list. So about 10% will just, there won't be one contact. 10 will say, hey, yeah, I want you to follow up with me. So just imagine those rough numbers that you call 100 people, you know you're going to get 10 that want to follow up with you. So if you made 100 calls a day, imagine for 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, you would have 50 new people in your database a week. 50 new people. If you did that for 10 weeks, it's 500 people that you add to your database to follow up with over time. And out of those 10, probably 2 to 3 will probably want something now or within the next few weeks, months to start looking or buying. It's just a numbers thing. So again, you got to reverse engineer. You can't say, well, I want to make $100,000 in real estate this year, and I have no idea how many calls I have to make. I don't know how many houses I have to sell. I don't even know how much commission I earn. You have to build that back up from square one of picking up the phone, making appointments, starting with buyers and sellers, getting that seller to the buyer and seller to get to the closing table. What price houses were you targeting? Are you targeting houses that are $50,000? Are you targeting people that own houses in $300,000 or $400,000 ranges? The math is all there. Is you got to put that in order and reverse engineer that from all the way to start picking up the phone to the time you cash that check to the time you get to the end of the year, and could add all of that up. So hopefully that made some sense, because if you don't have that kind of mentality or blueprint, at least in your mind and not on paper, especially on paper, is very important. Like, I got to do this today and I got to do this today. And it'll eventually work out, because it just always does. It's the blueprint. It's just like, if you follow the blueprint to anything and you follow to a T, you will build whatever's in that blueprint, right? You follow the instructions. Real estate sales is not that hard of a blueprint of following and understanding. What you have to do is just doing it and staying with it. So hopefully that made some sense today. And remember, reach out to me, call, text, email me anytime. I'm happy to go about this in more in detail, and watch for my videos at the beginning of the, or usually at the end of the year for the beginning of the year. And I'll do it again probably in July with revamping, going over, reviewing your business plan that you started with at the beginning of the year. And this is part of it. So that's it for today. Have a wonderful Tuesday. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.